It's Ron back here with another video on Ron Brown's YouTube channel. We cover a lot of drone gear, drone accessories, and drone-related gear. How's that for a mouthful there? And today we're here for a kind of a video comparison between the brand new DJI Mini 3 Pro drone, the hottest mini drone of the year so far, versus its kind of older brother here, the DJI Mini 2 from almost 2 years ago at this point, at least, more than a year and a half. So we're going to go side to side with these guys here. So we're going to come back with the kind of the desktop portion of the video because I want to, show you some of the accessories and what have you too. So we'll be right back. So stay tuned. Okay, so here is the Mini 3 Pro, and here is the if you buy the standard kit, which I believe is $759, you get get this controller, the RN1, and you get the 249 gram battery. So this right here is going to cost you $759. What's on screen here, and of course in the box you also get like a a cable, the charging cable, whatever. You get a few other things, but it's basically all you get in the box for $759. Now, if you can upgrade this controller for this one, and now you're looking at, I believe it's $929, for this kit here. And there's also a Flymore kit option where you can get two. These are the plus batteries. You see how it says 249 grams. So this is your 249 gram drone battery, and this is your plus battery. So you'll get two plus batteries and a multi-charger, which I don't have sitting right here. And that's an extra $259. I'm not sure about that. I'll put the links to all the stuff I'm talking about down below where you can go over to Amazon, check the prices. Of course, shameless plug here would be affiliate links where you could help the channel out if you decide to purchase any of these. Please use my affiliate links. I get a small kickback and it doesn't cost you anything else. So, okay. That's kind of your basic starting kit here for these guys. Now, over here is the Mini 2, and I'm going to kind of keep it in the background here. The Mini 2, which came out November of, I guess it would be 2020 at this point. And here is the RN controller, which I believe is the only controller option for this drone. I don't believe it ever worked with like the first smart controller. Maybe it did work with the first smart controller. I'm not sure about that. But anyhow, it does work with this one. And here's the battery it came with. This is a, no, I'm not, an expert in battery technology here, but this is a polymer, a lithium ion polymer battery. And this is the battery that came with the Mini 1. And this is a different battery. This is a just the ion. It's not the polymer. So this one battery will not discharge. These are smart batteries. They'll discharge after a week or so down to a safe storage thing. As well as these batteries in here too are smart batteries. They'll discharge themselves automatically to a safe storage charge. Well, this one will not discharge itself. So, like, if you don't fly this for a while and you have it sit in the case, you can actually take the drone up right away without using a, without charging up before you fly. So, I mean, I guess it'll go down eventually, but, this is a nice battery to have around. Just a little pro tip here, not to do really the review of the batteries. Okay, so at this point here, to choose which one of these drones you want here, Mini 1 or Mini 2. Okay, if you do not own any of these drones, you don't own the Mini 2, and you're just going to pick one, you need a mini drone, I would go with this one. This one's, I don't think I give a price. This is $449 without the Flymore, and the Flymore bumps it up to like around $599. This is when the Flymore came kind of bundled together. This is not bundled in a Flymore. You have to buy the Flymore separate. This you can get all as one kit. I know that sounds kind of confusing. DJI changes back and forth on this. It used to be separate when the Mavic Pro came out, and then they kind of bundled it all together. And then they've made it separate again with this one. But anyhow, so this is $449 with a standard controller, one battery, and this is $759 with a standard controller, one battery. So this is $300 more. But if you don't own any mini drone right now, or these drones, I'd probably just spend the extra $300 and get this because of the improved camera and the obstacle avoidance sensors, and it's just newer technology. So you'll be able to fly it longer. It'll what do you want to say? It'll take updates longer. It'll probably be maybe more remote ID compliant in the future. So I would just go with this if you didn't know anything. Now, here's a tougher question here. If you own the Mini 2, should you upgrade to the Mini 3? Well, it all depends on what your priorities are in your drone. Now, and a lot of people have different things. I know, the camera's better here. We're going to talk about that in a minute, but we're going to go some of the other things here that are important to people here. A lot of people's main priority is the range, and this guy came out. It has the OcuSync 3 Plus, I believe, where this has the only the OcuSync 2. But when this came out, it had a lot of range issues, signal strength issues, where people weren't getting that far with it. They were losing signal strength. And most of that has been corrected through a lot of firmware updates have already hit the Mini 3. And for the most part, it's been corrected for most people. But I still talk to people on a daily basis that aren't getting too far out with this guy here. So, if you're listening to my advice is, if you are still having signal and range issues with the Mini 3 and you've done all your firmware updates and everything you could possibly do and you're flying in a normal flying environment, at this point, I would contact DJI, support and let them know that you're still having major issues and maybe get the drone replaced or at least get them on it here. I know you probably put it in the comments. I'll see people say they're having issues with this, and I feel bad for you, but just go out and contact DJI support. So it should be fixed at this point. If it's not, maybe you have something beyond. Maybe you have a hardware issue and not just a software. But for most of us, and a lot of people have no issues at all with it. Like some people have great range with this thing. So it's kind of all over the board. I mean, I've always had good signal and range, and it's gotten better with the firmware updates. But I don't think it's any better than this guy. So what I'm trying to say here, if you want to upgrade from this to this so you get more signal and range, I mean, don't believe the side of the box of the specs. This guy still probably does as well as this guy in most situations. Everybody's situation is different. Some people fly in high interference areas. Some people fly out in the middle of the desert. So there's all sorts of extreme ends to flying thing. But in my mixed texting down at the shore here, I live in somewhat of a remote area as far as signal and Wi-Fi interference. I don't do any better with this than I did with the Mini 2. So if you're only buying it because you want some kind of increased, again, range or signal, you probably should stay with this. A second thing that a lot of people talk about is how good a drone is in the wind. How does it perform in the wind? And both these are these level 5 wind resistant drones, and they both do remarkably well for how small they are. But I don't know. In my opinion, I don't feel this does any better in the wind than this does. I mean, if it does do any better, it's marginally better. So if you're looking for a better drone for wind performance and you have this already, I don't think upgrading to this is going to do much for you. You might as well just stay where you are if you have this. I mean, if you really having extreme wind issues flying drones, but go out and buy something like the Air 2S or the Mavic 3, depending on your budget. Those drones are great in higher winds. So, okay. Now, as far as how they fly, what's the buzzword a lot of people use? DJI controls. I'm trying to think of flight characteristics. You always hear about the flight characteristics or whatever. I don't feel this one flies, a whole lot better or different than this guy. So if you're looking for a drone that flies better, I don't feel that this is, a big upgrade in the flight characteristics, as they like to say. So that's it. That's about all I got to say on that. Now, battery life. Now, if you're using the 249 gram battery, the standard battery versus the standard battery that comes with this, I don't think there's a big difference there either. If your big thing's more flight battery time, I don't think you gain much on this battery over this one. Maybe just a few, but say with both, you're getting maybe about 25 minutes of flight time. And I'm going to say 25 minutes of flight time if you fly it down to we'll say like under 20%, 20, 50 and 20% of whatever. Fly it down to that battery level, maybe you get about 25 minutes in decent conditions. In heavy wind conditions, it'll be less. If you fly in sport mode with your full stick the whole time, it'll be less. But in normal flying situations, you're flying a mixture of normal sport, cine, or whatever. I'm going to say about 25 minutes. But here's the thing now. But if you take this 249 gram drone battery out and you put the plus battery in here, now mind you, this plus battery no longer makes this a 250 gram drone. It makes it over 250 grams. But this battery will get you, and I'm not quoting you battery specs on the side of the box or DJI.com. I'm quoting you real world battery time as I've seen in test flying. This will gain you extra 10 minutes. This will get you maybe 35 minutes, maybe a little bit better if you're flying in no wind and you never taken the sport. But this battery is incredible. It really gets you that time. So if you're looking, for a long flight time, and you don't care about the 250 gram thing, you're in the U.S., you're registered and all that or whatever. This battery is incredible. Now this battery, of course, is more money. You can buy this in the Flymore kit includes 2 of these in the charger. I don't know. I'll put, again, links will all be down below. I don't remember the price in one versus the other, but this one is more money, but you definitely worth it with the extra flight time. So so far, that's it so far. If all that stuff is your most important, things you looking for in your drone, right now it's a mixed bag whether you upgrade or not. I mean, the battery thing is probably the biggest reason to upgrade at this point. And also back to these controllers here now. Of course, this controller, use your phone with. It has no built-in screen whatsoever. It's a good controller. It's kind of feels good in the hand, compact, so on. You pull this up here in case nobody has it. You pull this up here. You put your phone in. It's got the cable right here. So this is a quality controller here. Get that cord down there. But this one here, you can get this as an option if you buy the Mini 3. This has a like a 5.5. I'm making numbers up here, something like that. Size LCD screen. It has 700 nits, so it's pretty bright. Now if you're out in extreme bright sunlight, it's not as bright as 1,000 nits on the RC Pro. You may have trouble seeing in extreme sunlight, but if you're an iPhone user, it's a much better option using your iPhone because your iPhone will dim in the heat and the sun. After a few minutes, you won't be able to see anything. So this at least won't dim on you. So this is a much better option using your iPhone. So, but of course, this adds, it takes the drone from I believe $759 to $729. If you order this is going to cost you almost $200 extra over the standard controller with this kit here. But this controller is a joy to fly with. You can do screen recordings right in it. It has automatic screen recording, screenshot in it. It just has so many. This is not. I hate to call this a smart controller because it's not the same level as the RC Pro, but it's a lot smarter than this guy here. So a lot of people complain. No, it has internal antennas here, and they blame that on part of the reason why it doesn't have the signal and range that a lot of people hope to will with this. On this one here, when you pull this up, the antennas are built into this thing, so you have kind of external antennas when you're flying. So there's that. But of course, this one, another feature I like. This has a scroll wheel on both sides, so you have one here not only for the gimbal up and down, but you have this one for the zoom. So that's really nice too, that you have that zoom wheel there. So it's a lot to like about this controller here. So and this will not work with the Mini 2 as of let me get I never know the date here. As of September 2nd, 2022, this will not work with a Mini 2. It probably won't ever work with a Mini 2. So okay, so there's that too. Now at that point, if I think we've covered all kind of the other non-camera related things here. Why you upgrade one over the other one, and at this point it's sort of close. I mean, the big at this point, the big reasons to upgrade are you can use the better controller or the controller with the screen, and you can use the plus battery, which gets you extra time. Otherwise, you want to stay put because again, if you're just to kind of review here, if you're upgrading to get better signal and range, and that could improve through firmware updates, but as we stand today, it's not that much better. It's not that much better in the wind. If you have the standard batteries, it's not that much better flight time. So, there you are right now. So, okay, but we move over to the camera side here. Now, this has of course, a much better camera. This has the kind of the almost a 1/1/3 sensor, but this has a much smaller sensor, and this is almost as big as a 1-inch sensor, and this is closer to being the size of a half sensor or whatever. Not even that; it's smaller than a half sensor. And this also has a much wider aperture. I believe it's 1.7 or 1.8. I hear people say 1.8 a lot. I thought it was 1.7. But anyhow, this has like a 2.8. So it's much wider. So this is leaving you much more light. So this is definitely going to be the better drone if you're trying to film low light situations, sunrises, sunsets, things like that, filming in the dark. This is going to be your much better option with the camera. And of course, this has your obstacle avoidance sensors, the 2 in the front, and the 2 rear ones come right out of the same thing on the front there. So both of them have downward facing sensors for landing, but this has no obstacle avoidance outside of downward facing sensors for landing, and this one has front and rear obstacle avoidance plus your downward sensors. So this is much superior in obstacle avoidance. Much superior camera. They both do 4K, up to 4K video, but this does a frame rate up to 60 frames per second, so you get the higher frame rates than this. Again, the camera's just kind of better in every way. This has the Decinelite profile, so you can edit your videos. Not as good as a log profile, but it lets you edit your videos. This is 10-bit colors. 10-bit Cinelite lets you do a lot in post process as far as color grading. Editing your video, you don't have any of those options here. This just has a standard DJI color profile with no log, no Decinelite, no flat color profile. So and okay, also as far as things like intelligent flight features, this one has this can do that whole suite of active track. I always forget how to say all these things. The active track, the one where he kind of circles and the point of interest, orbit and point of interest, active track. The other one where you kind of follows you as you walk through the scene. So it has all those tracking features on that. This one has none of the tracking features like this one has. So this has basically the same tracking features as you would get in the Air 2S or the Mavic 3, where this has none of them here. So big win on this one. So I mean, if you're one of those people that never use those features, of course that means little to you. Some people never use active track, so take that with a grain of salt. If you never use those features or have no interest in them, that means nothing to you. So kind of in conclusion here, there's a lot of good reasons to stick with the the Mini 2 here as far as whether upgrade to the 3. Again, it all depends on a lot of that stuff. If you're not really a camera guy, you just like to fly your drone. I mean, you want to take video, but you're not really into any editing. You're not a Part 107 professional pilot. You don't need the best possible video out there. And again, I just a few minutes ago I said if you don't care about active track and point of interest and all that, then a lot of that doesn't mean anything to you in that. And a lot of people don't like obstacle avoidance either, so then that doesn't mean anything to you. So I can make a case for sticking with the with the Mini 2 here, not upgrading to the Mini 3 if none of that stuff on the Mini 3 on the camera side and intelligent flight features mean anything to you. I mean, it's the big thing, even if that doesn't mean anything to you, the big thing is you can swap out that plus battery again if 250 grams doesn't mean anything to you. So there's a lot of variables here to which one is the best drone. And actually, there's no best drone. It's the best drone for you. What fits your needs the best. So I hope this kind of helps your decision making. All if you want to see a video where I talk about the whole line of DJI drones, I will put the video right up above here. So you can watch another video where I talk about the Air 2S and the Mavic 3 and how they all compare against each other. This one just these two. So again, if you don't own any mini drone now and you want a mini drone, and you have the money, you have the extra $300 in your pocket, I'd buy this over this. But again, if I was already had this and I didn't need any of those features I just mentioned on this one, I'd just stick with this guy, or see what comes out the next round. So, all right, I hope you enjoyed that kind of walkthrough, between the Mini 2 and the Mini 3 and what drone may be best for you. So, if you got anything out of this video, give me the old thumbs up, down below. Helps the video out. If you're not subscribed to this channel, you want to see more videos about drones and mini drones and so on, subscribe to the channel. Ring the bell so you'll know when I post a new video. And they got a thanks video down there where you can, it's a thanks video where you can contribute a little bit to the channel as low as $1.99. Helps keep the channel going. Keeps helping me get things in the review. So that's about it, folks. Hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you on the next one.